What is going on, guys? This is Johnny, your Fish Gamer on YouTube, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Android Studio, and no, this is not Xamarin Studio. This is Android Studio, which is a new IDE developed by Google. So yeah, this is based on IntelliJ IDEA, which is another IDE for Android and just in general Java. And yeah, so this is a really cool application, and yes, it does actually use Java, not C#, so you have to use Java for this. But anyways, I don't really like Java, but whatever. I started getting to know Android Studio, and it's really an awesome IDE. So it's way better than Eclipse in my opinion, because Eclipse isn't really lightweight. Android Studio really isn't either, but in a lot of ways it's way more organized and stuff. So I'm going to show you the IDE and how to get started quickly. Alright, so the first thing I want to mention is that this is actually just a preview build, so this is nowhere finished, and this is actually not going to represent the actual final version of the application here, of Android Studio, to be exact. So, yes. Whenever you start up Android Studio, by the way, the download link is going to be in the description of the video, then you're going to see this window most likely, and it basically is just some quick start options. So what we're going to do, we are actually going to need to make a new project. You can also import your Eclipse project if I'm not mistaken, so this is a really good feature as well. Okay, now just hit new project right here. And this window is coming up, so if you started in developing Android apps in Eclipse, then this should be quite familiar. Quite familiar. And we're gonna call this application, I don't know, probably just Hello World. And now, yeah, let's just call it Hello World. And of course, we're not gonna use this. We're gonna use orchestras intracode Hello World. So this is our package name, and of course the identifier as well. So then you have your minimum required SDK. I'm going to put this on Froyo, so API level 8. And the target SDK is of course the highest one, so it's API level 17, which is of course Jelly Bean. So yeah, the theme is going to be HoloLight with Dock Action Bar. Of course you can change these options here, just as you would in Eclipse. And just hit next, and this right here is basically just kind of the logo you're gonna have, and you can import an image as well. So I'd really recommend to import just PNG, and it's actually gonna recite this for MDPI, HDPI, XHDPI, and all this stuff. So it's actually gonna recite this for you and make this available for all the different formats right here. So this is really cool as well, and you of course can apply some padding to these icons. So in case you have a really, I don't know, big PNG file or something, then you probably need some padding. Alright, so I'm just gonna take the default one here because I'm not remaking a real app. This background color right here is basically just for this app, so if you have, as an example, the square or circle selected, then you can apply different background color here, but I'm not gonna do this. I'm just gonna leave it at that because, nah, I don't know, that's like the best option here. So I'm just gonna hit next, and here you have different options. So first one would be of course a blank activity, which we're going to use, but you also have the ability to use the settings activity and a master detail flow, a login activity, and all this. So those are pre-built activities, which is quite a good feature in Android Studio. I'm not really sure if this is actually implemented in Eclipse, but it might actually be. Yeah, excluding the login activity and the other one. Okay, so then you can give your activity name. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. And here you can add, just as you would in Eclipse, you can add some navigation type. So I'm just gonna leave it at none because we can add all of this manually if you want to. Okay, now just hit finish and it should set it up. So right here, this is actually using Gradle, and it does take a little bit of time until it's set up, and I'm recording, so this might actually take a little longer than usually. But it's working just fine. I'm just gonna minimize this Android Studio real quick. Okay, I can't. Interesting. Okay, who cares? And yes, so this is actually just the first time you're gonna make a new project. It's gonna take that long. Usually it's really, really fast. As you can see, it has a very nice user interface. But just to tell you, I'm actually using let's get rid of that. I'm actually using the dark theme. So if you want to know how to get this dark theme right here, it's by default it's going to be on the light theme, which I don't really like. I really like the dark theme. That's what I have in Visual Studio as well. So I don't know, it's quite a cool user interface in my opinion. So to change that, you're going to need to go to File, and then you're going to need to go to your Settings. You can of course use the shortcut, so Control Alt and S. Then you're gonna go to Appearance, and then you can change the theme to something you want. But I just put it on Darkula, and it's actually gonna be the theme which I have right now. So this dark theme. Okay, so I'm just gonna hit cancel now because. Okay, so now it's going to say no files open, although we just created a new project, and don't worry about that, it's actually everything we have in our project is right here in this project tab. So just expand this list view, this list right here, and now you're just going to click on Hello World and go to Source, and then we have our resources right here, and of course our activity. I'm just going to drag and drop the activity right in here, and here's our activity. Beautiful, isn't it? Okay, then in our, this of course our drawable stuff, so the launcher, which is of course the default image, but there's gonna be your launcher then. Yeah, thanks for this beautiful message. Okay, and then there's our layout, so this is actually the main activity, and yes, this does have a GUI builder as well, and I even think it's way better than Eclipse because it's way more organized. It looks cleaner. It basically just shows you what's important. So as you can see, some different things, what has been changed, and it's more similar to the way we are doing it in Visual Studio. So I think it's really good because I really like the IDE Visual Studio, and I like IDEs which are similar to yeah, Visual Studio. Okay, so now how to get started. So we're basically going to create the app which I created in the last video. I don't really know if I have too much time for this, but at the moment I'm just going to get quickly started and put a button right here. And as you can see, it's looking beautifully fine. And you can, of course, right here, you can change the API level, and you can actually change the theme right here, which is a pretty cool feature. So you can select different things here: light, classical light, device default, holo, and all these things are working, but you have to make sure that you're actually not using holo if you are setting a very low API level, because this is not going to be supported then. Alrighty, so this margin is actually going to be set automatically, and some other stuff as well. So I'm just going to quickly show you how everything works. So this is the ID right here, and you can edit it in this properties tab, but you can also double click that, and it's actually going to bring up the main options here. So the text as an example, and I'm just going to put this as show message. And of course this features the emulator stuff as well, so you can actually debug this quite easily. Now the idea is just going to be, I don't know, I'm just going to call this button show MSG. Okay, and so we have a button right here. That's it already. That's quite simple so far, and the coding's actually pretty good as well. And of course you have the possibility to get into this text editor right here. And what I like to do, I like to get rid of the margin, because if you're going to add a tab host or anything, then it's really not going to be that helpful if you have a margin there. So this is actually good if you just get rid of it right now. But this is of course personal preference. So now we are pretty much done with our button right here, and now we can actually switch back into the code view. And yes, this is Java as I already said, so this is slightly different from C#, but not too much, so it should be quite yeah, simple to actually get used to it. So this button right here is of course called a button, and what's really good right here, it's actually going to say that this isn't imported, but you actually don't have to hover over that and hit import just as you would in what is it, Eclipse. You can just hit Alt and Enter, and it's going to import that automatically, and you don't have to worry about that anymore. That's just a really good feature. So now I'm just going to call this a show message button. Okay. And now I'm going to show you basically how you can assign this button. So it's really almost the same as in Xamarin Studio. So really, it's quite simple. So the first thing you have to do, you have to actually cast this. This is a difference. So we're going to cast this to a button, and then you're just going to do find view by ID with a lowercase f at the beginning. So that's the only difference. And then just r.id button show message, and you're done. You have successfully assigned this button. Now to assign the button click event, it's actually, yeah, it's a little different, but with this IDE it's fairly simple to implement the click listener. So you just have to set on click listener like that, and then we're going to do a view. Okay, interesting. No, and you on click listener, and now just hit enter, and bam, it's just going to generate this stuff for us. super simple. That's actually something which Eclipse doesn't do for you, if I remember that correctly. And then you can just go on with that. So you can just do alert, and you can just make a new alert stuff. So this is working. So alert dialog dot, yeah, I think AD equals tuner alert dialog dot builder, and we have to reference the context if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not really sure because I haven't really used the alert dialog thing. I don't even know. Okay, whatever. Alright, so this is technically what you have to do. Okay, let me just get something else here. So let's just make this toast. Toast.make text. I know how this run works because I was using that. And again, you can just hit Alt and Enter, and just it's gonna import it. And now we're gonna do get application context, and we're gonna put our text right here. So we're gonna say welcome, or let's just say hello world. Okay, and then you can set the length. So I'm just gonna do length short, and then it's gonna actually add the toast thing as well. So this is really cool. And by the way, for all you Mac users out there who are watching my videos, this is actually working for Mac as well. So this IDE is available for Mac and Windows, which makes this absolutely beautiful. And for Linux as well, by the way. This is working on any platform or any operating system you're currently on, so it does not matter at all. Okay, guys, so this is actually all there's. Oh, of course, I forgot something. Because we actually have to show the message, so just .show, adding that, and yeah, it's gonna show this. Yeah, I don't know what this is technically, just toast message. I don't know. It's technically a notification. It's this black box which is gonna appear. But yeah, this is already about it. It's simple as that. This is how to get started with this. And by the way, it's gonna create this objects menu for us. So at the top right here, top right corner right here, it's gonna have this dot thing, and when you click on it, it's gonna display menu. So this is quite a cool feature as well. So you can of course get rid of this and change the menu in this menu tab right here, and you can just basically get a new design done. So you can just change this Android title to something else, and oh, interesting. Yeah, okay, so just you can actually use this IDE. Really, it's awesome. It's awesome. I really highly recommend it. But remember, it's still in like an alpha version or something. It's a preview. And yeah, guys, if you want me to do any tutorials on Java Android development with Android Studio, then just leave it in the comments. I hope this helped you. If you had no idea how to get started with Android Studio. And yes, guys, thanks for watching. My name is Johnny. I'm coming here on YouTube, and I'm out. Peace.